So Black Lives Matter. Yeah, this whole movement has really been annoying me lately. And I don't just mean the riots and looting. Yeah, those things are bad, and I certainly want them to stop. But what's really been bugging me lately is all the chanting of Black Lives Matter among seemingly normal people. Especially when those people are ones I know personally. It's rather annoying watching them fall prey to its twisted ideas simply due to the name. I mean, this is a group I believe to be a Marxist domestic terrorist movement that is anti-American and wants to overthrow Western democracy. I mean, its more radical supporters straight up say it. Even their website says stuff like this. So why do I look at friends of mine, people I've known for years, who are posting stuff like hashtag Black Lives Matter or posting the black squares on Instagram? I mean, even posting themselves in shirts that say Black Lives Matter with the black power fist. I mean, why are they buying into this?
I also think that it might, I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories.
Like everything else this ideology does, it brands itself in language that the uninformed can't help but side with because they want to be virtuous or they're just generally good people that are trying to do the right thing. But these far left ideologues use people's goodwill to further their own means and to pull them into the fold. I mean, like how Antifa like to say that if you're against fascism, well, that makes you Antifa because you're anti-fascist. Or how feminists would say if you're for women's rights, well, that makes you a feminist. Doesn't matter if you actually agree with what these groups advocate for or not. I mean, if you agree with the name, well, you're for it. I mean, Black Lives Matter does the same thing. I mean, who wouldn't agree with the phrase Black Lives Matter? Of course you would, unless you're an actual racist. I mean, if the KKK renamed itself White Lives Matter, but didn't change anything else, then marched around chanting White Lives Matter, I mean, if you don't agree with them, well, then you must just hate white people. If you do agree with it, that makes you one of us. Doesn't matter if you're not actually a white supremacist. So let me show you what some of my friends have been posting to give you an idea on what's been bothering me. Now, keep in mind I have challenged some of them on this. They, of course, refuse to listen to what I'm saying or just parrot the usual talking points to refute people. So, this one here shows the usual nonsense that the quote-unquote system is oppressing black people and that Black Lives Matter movement just wants to make things equal. I mean, it doesn't actually want to put black people over white people. Except when you actually listen to what Black Lives Matter supporters and especially their so-called leaders are saying, it really does sound like they want to put black people over white people. They want to dismantle all those systems of oppression that they claim was created for white people. I mean, they even want white people to start giving up their homes and their land just to give it back to black people. I mean, this doesn't sound very equal to me.
Do you know that you are living in a historically black neighborhood right now? Do you know that? Do you know that before your white ass came here, this was all black people? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know people like you came in here and basically bought all the land from the black people for less than what it was worth, kicked them out so you could live here? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, now you fucking do. Now do something about it.
Yeah.
Open your
What are
wallet.
you gonna do?
Open your wallet.
You live in a historically black neighborhood. You live in a gentrified neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're part of that gentrification.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna fix it? What are you gonna do to fix it? Because you're part of that gentrification, that racist gentrification. How do you plan to fix it? Because you are living on black people land right now.
Yeah.
I mean, native land, but black people live here too.
Yeah.
So how do you plan to fix it? As a gentrifier, because you are part of that problem. How do you plan to fix it? Nothing? The stone cold nothing, huh? See, that's why your mom should have swallowed.
If your name's Papa or God, whichever one it is, give up your house, give black people back their homes. They're sitting there comfortable as fuck, as if they didn't have gentrified this neighborhood.
I used to live in this neighborhood.
But I used to live in this neighborhood. I grew up here and my family was pushed out. And you're sitting up there having a good time with your other white friends.
Hey, you work for Amazon, don't you?
Now, this one is trying to show why saying all lives matter is problematic.
The next person who has the sheer nerve, the sheer entitled caucasity to say all lives matter, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you. And while you're struggling and bleeding out, I'm gonna show you my paper cut and say, my cut matters too.
That you should say Black Lives Matter because we're supposed to be focusing on a certain group that has problems. As you can see in their retarded examples explaining this. I mean, I do agree with some of the things on there, like stand with Vegas, not stand with everywhere, because Vegas is a specific location, just as Boston is. I mean, it's the same with breast cancer, as it's a specific cancer. However, I just don't agree that Black Lives Matter is the same thing, because I don't view black people as a monolith. All black people aren't the same. They don't all have the same problems and situations and issues. You can't just say we have to help all black people because they're oppressed, when I can just go out into the world and see plenty of black people living their lives perfectly fine. I mean, they have cars, they can go to restaurants, they can do all the same things I can. No issues. I mean, heck, some of them even have a better life than me. What? Does Oprah need help? Are we supposed to be helping Kanye West? I mean, if they really wanted to focus on where the actual problems are, I mean, they could say something like Black Lives in Chicago matter or Black Lives in Detroit matter. I mean, maybe I could get behind something like that, but not when it's an all-encompassing swath that just all black people are lumped together. Which again is something that Black Lives Matter is doing specifically on purpose. I mean, even their website says they see themselves as part of a global black family. So this next one isn't a meme or anything, but it got shared by several friends of mine. It's from someone named Ron Clark that runs some kind of academy and is supposed to be a teacher. Anyways, he wrote this, and it's similar to the last one, but it brings in Christianity to try and justify the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, being a Christian myself, I find this more annoying than the other ones, really. As you can see, it's about the story of Jesus going off to find the one and leaving behind the 99. This Ron Clark fellow, again, treats black people as some kind of monolith, and that all black people are just suffering. But the story is about individuals, not a group, because Christ is all about the individual person, regardless of what group they're in. You see it throughout the Bible where Jesus seeks out individuals, such as when he healed the blind man. Then afterwards, when the Pharisees threw the guy out, Jesus sought him out to comfort him. So, I mean, we see these stories all the time. And Christianity is very much individualism. It's about the individual. So, once again, I don't view black people this way. They're not a uniform group. I see them as individuals who have their own agency and they have the freedom to make their own decisions. Do some of them start off in life in bad situations? I mean, certainly. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people do that aren't black. We can't just treat all black people the same and say we've got to fix the black community, as if, for one, that's just going to fix all black people's problems. And secondly, it seems a bit condescending to me to think black communities can't just fix these problems themselves. I mean, we all know about the fatherless problem. I mean, the murders and crime. Overthrowing systematic racism isn't going to fix any of that. I mean, it's not white people making black people teach their kids this kind of stuff.
Here they are. All right, watch out.
Show me sign.
All right.
Fuck the police.
What is it?
Fuck the police.
All right. Say it. Can you do the... Everybody hear you, brother? All right. Power to the people. Power to the people. Thanks, kids.
So look, I do have real sympathy for black people that are having their businesses burned down or having their kids killed by thugs and gangsters or even from Black Lives Matter supporters. I mean, there are real problems, but the Black Lives Matter movement isn't here to fix any of those problems. I mean, it's here for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into right now because this video is already long enough, but I am definitely opposed to BLM, and I'm not afraid to say it. When some of their supporters of the movement can say stuff like this,
care if somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get their money back. My people aren't getting anything.
Yeah, you're just a bunch of reprobates hiding behind the term Black Lives Matter, and I won't let that stop me from telling everyone the truth about you, even if they won't listen sometimes. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my opinions over on my Minds page. You can also find me on Parler and Twitter. Links for everything will be in the description, of course. Thanks again, and God bless.